$1.99 TV apps. You can download the Flow Sports TV apps today, and it's available on all major app stores. I've got one downloaded at home. When I lock into all things racing, gymnastics, it doesn't matter what it is, we've got it all on Flow Sports, and it's even better on the big screen. Chris, you got a big screen at home that you lock us in on?
I'm more intrigued that you watch gymnastics. Is that what I heard you say?
I just surf through it. I'm just saying we've got a wide variety. We've got college sports. We've got wrestling. We've got marching band.
Well, I'm just saying, you said when I lock into racing or gymnastics. That's what you said.
I did catch myself saying that. No
judgment.
Checked out the marching band stuff's actually pretty cool.
Okay, I'll give you that.
As a former band kid,
I've turned on some of the Flow College stuff. Some of the two local colleges to me both play on Flow Sports, so I watch both of them.
There you go. Well, a guy who I know doesn't watch gymnastics, and he probably wouldn't be a gymnast, was Tyler Burnett. He's been here all week getting us ready to go for the Tulsa Shootout with awesome behind-the-scenes looks. And if you were paying attention earlier, he did a story about a driver who's back here in the pit area that is a barber. And he said, well, I have an appointment at 1:30 if you can squeeze me in. And the guy was like, absolutely yes. Well, here is video proof that Tyler Burnett got his hair cut here at the Shootout.
As I promised, a haircut in the expo. My buddy here who races, we race winged A class, right?
Everything.
You race everything, okay. Bobby Walford Jr., right?
That's correct.
That's his name. He is a fantastic barber. I've been seeing his content on Facebook ever since I made friends with him here a couple years ago. Now he's gonna give me a haircut. Am I the first one today?
Today you will be, yes, sir. Yeah, we got about.
It's a mess.
I think we got like 8 or 9 scheduled for today. Yep.
8 or 9. I'm only here for the free haircut because I'm a cheap ass, right? No, just.
No, because we made this deal 2 years ago when you done the interview that we'd give you a haircut next time we saw each other.
All right, let's do it. Let's get your gold utensils out here.
Fade on the side.
Yeah, that's what we do. And we get a little fade up. Yeah, that's it. Like somewhere around a 2 or something, fingertip on the top or whatever. We're gonna get him a lot of customers here. Where are you located?
Tulsa, Oklahoma. So our barbershop has a foundation that we feed people and take care of people on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And this year we fed over 1,700 people on Thanksgiving. That was pretty cool.
That's amazing. Thank you for doing that.
No problem. BTV Foundation, if you ever want to help out.
So you brought your portable gold razor, your trimmers. These things look expensive. Are they fancy?
They're more expensive than race car parts, I can promise you that.
They're more expensive than race car parts? Those things are, seriously?
Them scissors right there are about $1,800 for a pair of scissors.
Holy shit. $1,800 for scissors?
These tennis shears right here are like $2,900.
$2,900? Oh my. No wonder they feel so good.
Yeah, you gotta understand, like people that work on cars for a living, they got Snap-on tools, they're more expensive tools. You gotta have the best to do the best, you know what I'm saying? And the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut?
What?
About 2 weeks.
Ken, you're gonna have to get some close-ups on this thing. Oh, we got a car coming in here. Look at this, we got a car coming in here while we're getting our haircut. This is live, folks. I should have moved my chair for them. Here comes the $1,800 pair. You like fly to celebrities' houses with your tools, or?
I got a few celebrity football players I do still to this day.
A couple of celebrity football players?
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna name drop them, or?
I prefer not to.
No.
They give me.
Who did they play for? How about that?
SC Chiefs.
Oh. They played for the Chiefs.
Yeah, he's from our area.
He's from.
Well, we didn't see the finished product, but oh boy.
That was incredible. that was awesome.
The biggest takeaways were definitely the $1,800 pair of shears, because holy cow.
Well, on the lighter side, on the cooler side, though, I think the donating and feeding families on Thanksgiving and Christmas that's awesome.
Bobby Wofford Jr., he is about to be one busy guy. Poor heavy lunch.
Which
Yikes.
one of us?
I think.
Which
Blake, you got to get over there. You look terrible.
Yeah.
I know. Earl and I I could do it.
Yeah,
I'm very picky, though. Not as picky as Wilner. But I'm a prima donna when it comes to my
hair.
Give Earl a faux hawk. Earl needs a faux hawk.
I do a haircut for the team.
I think I lean more towards Blake needing the haircut. Earl, there's no fixing Earl. Blake, you still got a chance.
Okay.
Earl's and Earl's married. Like,
for
what does
a
it matter?
content piece, I would do it for the team.
For a content piece, we do a bowl cut.
Not a chance.
How many haircut content pieces do we need? You just need a haircut,
Yeah, no,
Blake. That's all
true.
I'm saying.
I mean, we could do it live on the air or something.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah.
You know what? I will sacrifice, and I will get my hair cut this week.
Will you do a?
I'm not.
Earl, let
I'm very
Blake cut
picky.
your
Now
hair.
I will get a skin fade, a 0, because I got a lot of gray hair, so I got to get rid of that.
I got a lot of gray hairs from Iowa football.
Yeah, I'm a natural curl too, so we got to keep it short up top enough to comb it over. Wilner knows about the comb over. His comb over is pristine. Let me tell you.
Where does Caleb get his hair cut?
He's not.
I don't know.
That's pretty mean. He's not even here to defend himself, Chris
Well,
Moore.
I'm sure he's listening somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
We might have Slippy do it.
Caleb, I love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we love Caleb.
That just,
And you got to get a hard part too. I'm just saying, you got to get a hard part.
Well, guys, if you see Tyler Burnett walking around, we need to get a shot of the finished product
Yeah,
because we haven't seen it.
I texted him just right before that piece went live.
Okay.
I asked him where he is. So
Perfect.
we'll
looks good.
if we
I
find him,
know who
we'll
the
pull him
player
into the
is,
interview
too.
area.
That's right. All right, perfect. We're going to see the finished product here in just a little bit. You're watching live coverage of the 40th annual Smiley's Racing Products Tulsa Shootout powered by NOS Energy Drink. We've got just about a few minutes left on the track prep. I see the equipment getting ready to be finished. Drivers are getting ready to climb in their cars there in the pit area and in the staging lane, which means we are just minutes away from the resumption of A-Class heat races here at the Tulsa Shootout. We're going to step aside for one more quick break, bring you back to action here inside the SageNet Center after this. Welcome back, everybody. FloRacing's live coverage of the 40th annual Smiley's Racing Products Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink. A good look from the Rod End Supply Speed Shot as you check out a pretty much fully reworked racetrack. Been watching the tiller out there as well as some of the other track prep equipment. We had the water truck around, putting some more moisture in the racing surface as well. So shaping up to have a pretty much brand new racetrack before we get the winged A-Class cars out on the racetrack for 41 heat races as we sit here on New Year's Day here celebrating 2025 at the Tulsa Shootout. Now, we told you before the break, Chris Moore, that we were looking for Tyler Burnett, and we wanted to see the finished product of his hopefully exquisite haircut. We now have proof because he's standing by with Earl and Blake. Guys, what do we think?
Oh, man. Looks good. First off, America, the brothers.
Wow.
Brothers.
Oh, my gosh.
Huh?
It's uncanny.
Yeah, looking good, don't we?
And they both will bum a heater off you at any time.
That's not a lie, too. Thank you, Tyler Warren, for getting me out of here.
Already got that. T-Bone. Man. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, Bobby Walford Jr., he's going to be in winged A-Class here coming up, but he cut my hair today here in the expo. He's been talking to me about it for a couple of years, right? I met him a couple of years ago, and he's like a barber. He has a foundation, big foundation, and they're big friends, so... yeah, he's like, I cut Travis Kelce's hair one time. I'm like, well, this is a bit of a downgrade here, but here we are. And I was like, Blake already knows this. I'm never going to pass up a free haircut. Like, why would you ever? I'm the
free. It's for Burnett.
I'm the cheapest man out
You
here.
did say that you were cheap as shit on the air, so you did say that.
Look at this. Let it breathe, my friend. Got that thing
Hey, what do you
zipped
wear
all the
next?
way
He's
up.
about
What
to
are you
become
wearing,
a
a turtleneck?
father in about a month. Let him go.
Yeah. Your wife know about the new haircut?
I'm sure she's probably pumped because she's cheaper than me. So, yeah, she's
Free haircuts
she's
and free
she's happy
cigarettes.
that I got a free haircut as well. She's seeing this hi wife and baby at home. Yeah.
Free haircuts and free cigarettes. Chris Moore, you couldn't have said it any better.
That is awesome,
Man.
guys.
Somebody
Hey.
tell Tyler not to be proud of being Earl Hoon's lookalike.
Yeah, Chris Moore said not to be proud of being his lookalike brother. Chris Moore said, don't be proud of being Earl's lookalike brother. I got good stories on these clowns, some of which aren't appropriate for the air, but
Oh, boy. Yes,
we'll have
you
laughs
do.
at the hotel tonight over a couple of bush lights.
We've gone
Sounds like
far
a
enough
plan.
off the rails here.
Absolutely. Let's
Yeah,
rein
get
it.
this on the rails, Wilner. Gee.
I know. I'm trying to rein everybody back in. We've got cars on the racetrack, and before we get to that, we want to welcome our special guest down here in the Brian Kapinski broadcast booth. 31-time feature starter at the Shootout, a 2-time Shootout champion, and of course, Chili Bowl household name. We're talking about Jonathan Beeson. Welcome, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I can't believe you had never been down here. First of all, what are your thoughts of being in this little box outside turn 4?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you guys you need to get a little better view here because all I can see is this NOS Energy Drink banner here. But maybe we'll get a shot of him going down into turn 1. And but hey, I'm glad to be here.
He
You're
said he's
glad to
never,
be here, but-
never done this before. He's
Yeah.
already plugging a sponsor.
I know. Look at that. He's a natural. But I was going to say you're glad to be here, but I'm sure you'd rather be out there. So why are you not racing this year?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, just I had a couple hard 8 micros, and the owner is he's kind of gotten out of it. I've taken over the midget operation, but we sold all the micros. Was really hoping I could get back in a 10J car, and that didn't work out. And there was a couple opportunities that I just didn't feel like I was going to have to maybe reinvent them, and just there's not enough time here in practice to do that. So I'm going to focus on my boy JJ. This is his first shootout and restrictor. He started second, finished third, and so I think he should be in a qualifier. And if he can make the feature, that will make up for me not racing.
It sounds like it. See, you get to focus on full-time dad, right? Then like racer and dad.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like I want to win even with him driving. So it's not always the funnest. He'll tell you that.
But you do have the Chili Bowl coming up too that you're preparing for. So how's that effort going?
Yeah, so that was kind of one nice thing. If I wasn't working on micros, I could have devoted a little more time to making sure they're right. We were going to have practice last week, but the weather didn't play very nice to us, so we started them all on Sunday, and they all started sounding good. And I think there'll be a practice out of Port City right before we move in out here that will go shake them down and make sure they're right.
Nice.
I was going to ask the age-old question: are you more nervous behind the wheel of the race car, or sitting in the stands watching your boy?
Yeah, last year he did really good in the junior sprint race and probably should have won had he not made a couple of mistakes. But that was like the first time like he really was. I saw a race car driver in him, and did a lot of good things, and that was really nerve-wracking, especially when he's leading this. I know how hard.
Yeah.
I've lost some, I've won some here, and I thought we were going to get another one, but yeah, no, that's good. I still get goosebumps, going down the ramp, whether it's the micro or a midget. I can't imagine what he was feeling, but yeah, I think it was good nerves.
Yeah, I always say if you don't get a little bit nervous, you're not having fun, and what's the point of doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean sometimes
you care.
I wish I didn't have the nerves because man, they eat you up. So.
Well, we're going to hot lap these winged A-Class cars as, again, they work in the newly refreshened raceway here at SageNet Center. And, Jonathan, as we kind of get these cars out moving around, what are some things these guys are looking for? I know they probably don't want to be the first race out after a fresh rework, but what are you kind of trying to figure out right now?
Well, if I'm starting on the inside row, I'm going to like this a lot. If I'm starting outside row, I'm not very happy. But I'm going to hope if I'm starting on the outside, I may try and work in the middle or something to where it's not marbles. But I don't know. If I had the Drew pole for this race, I'm happy because if I don't win it, then I'm not going to be doing any good. But you got to win this one from the pole, or if you're starting there.
You've been coming to this building, whether it's Shootout or Chili Bowl, for as long as I can remember. I mean, heck, you won restricted in 2001. A long time ago. So how cool is it to see this place continue to grow in terms of the car counts? I mean, I don't know if we can fit anymore. We're at 1,798.
No, that's my sister was here earlier, and we were kind of talking, and her brother, who raced it back in the 90s in 125s. But, yeah, I think they may have to get rid of some of the trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, because this deal's growing, so the cars are going to keep coming.
Well, we're lights out, getting ready for our first of 41 Wing A-Class heat races. Justice Sokol, Dugan Ridenauer, Chloe Cotton, Aiden Perdue, Isaiah Garcia, Jet Nunley, Steven Snyder Jr., Delaney Jost, TJ Stark, and Chase Both. Your first heat race is underway here for the Winged A-Class.
First of 41. Lock in, strap in, get ready to go here as we work into the evening on New Year's Day. And it is quickly Justice Sokol out in front. You see Steven Snyder Jr. quickly from 7th to 4th in the opening lap. Just like you said, Jonathan, working the inside off the start, up 3 spots.
Yeah, Steven's probably got to go here because I'd say he's a favorite in anything he's in. So he's got to get everything he can, but he might, if he doesn't get any luck here, he might just stall out there.
Yeah, he's already won a heat race here today and is already well on his way to another qualifier. If he can just continue to march maybe a little bit more forward. Take a look a little farther back. Aiden Perdue seeing some company in the form of TJ Stark and that 00T. Also in this picture is Steven Snyder Jr. just ahead there, sitting in that 4th spot. But again, everybody locked down on the bottom as we go up front to the Colorado racer, Justice Sokol. And the 25S doing a nice job already, coming around to 2 laps to go. These heat races go by in a hurry.
Yeah, picking them up and putting them down as Sokol out in front was nailing his corners on this tacky racetrack here. After the rework, you see this back here for 7th and 8th, Jet Nunley. Another one you'd thought would be in contention here this weekend, but he's struggling right now, still stuck back in the 8th spot as they come to the white flag.
Yeah, not much you can do from the 6th starting spot as the white flag waves. Now checkered for Justice Sokol. So Sokol will take the first opening winged A-Class heat race of the night from the pole. Chloe Cotton finishes 2nd after she started 3rd. So good pickup there. And then, of course, Isaiah Garcia and Steven Snyder Jr. 7-4 run for him. Aiden Perdue rounds out the top 5.
So Steven started 7th?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. That's about got as much as you could get really on that deal. The track's already, there's some of that stuff's already wearing out on the entry, it looks like. So I don't know how long this will last, but.
How much are you paying attention up top of the ramp to the broadcast, looking at what the track's doing, what drivers are doing before you go down the ramp?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see, it's hard to walk, depending on where you're pitted at, it's hard to figure out how long you got to go up there. You're always thinking something's going to happen sooner, and it never does.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, you can tell a little bit, and also just look at the times and kind of see if they're slowing up, and you kind of know what to do.
Next heat race getting set to come to green. Colin Shane and Aiden Price. Remember, Colin Shane just picked up a restricted heat race win. The quick turnaround. He will quickly march out to the lead. Battle for third there. Gavin Miller shuts the door on Connor Long as we work here to complete lap number 1.
Oh, lots of stars in this one. Jet Barnes from the back, Cole Kirkman from outside of row number 3. So a lot of favorites in this one needing to make up some moves. But again, early on in these heat races, it's going to be a battle for the bottom. As you take a look at the 52J of Connor Long trying to hold off the hard-charging Cole Kirkman, who I talked about. 28 wins for Hyper this year for Cole Kirkman, a perennial A-main starter, and he gets to the inside of Connor Long, gets the job done. That's for 4th, and now Cole Kirkman will try to track down Gavin Miller in that 21M.
Yeah, Connor Long just left the door open enough for Kirkman to drive underneath of him, muscle his way by, take that 4th spot away. Now right behind the 52 of Long, Trey Erdman trying to hold off Jet Barnes. Barnes trying to work his way from the 9th starting spot. He's only 7th right now, trying to take 6th away. But again, these races click off so quickly without a yellow. Barnes trying to work by Erdman for 6th.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit anxious here as the laps begin to wind down. Jet Barnes looking like he needs at least one more to feel a little bit comfortable with where he'll be at points-wise, but they're starting to fall away from the top 4 as Cole Kirkman continues to try to track down Gavin Miller. Aiden Price solidly in 2nd, and Colin Shane looking to double up on heat races as there's the look at your top 2. Aiden Price doing yeoman's work trying to keep pace with Colin Shane, but the checkered flag waves, and Shane's going to take his 2nd heat race win of the day. Aiden Price 2nd, Gavin Miller 3rd, Cole Kirkman and Connor Long your top 5. Barnes finishes 6th. Erdman, Cook, Piper, and Henry rounding out the field.
So another solid performance there from Colin Shane. What of the last 3-4 races, he's won 2 of them. Easy Earl at the top of the ramp. He's got a K1 race gear interview.
Thank you, Chris Moore. Yeah, I got the lawman, Justice Sokol, here with me. And, dude, I'm going to know, how nerve-wracking is it when you're sitting on the ramp and they're still doing track work out there?
It can be pretty nerve-wracking at times, you know, especially when you've done some changes to the car to get to where the track was, and then they work it and they do what they did and they kind of tear it up from top to bottom. But thankfully I had Adam up here to, you know, do some setup changes on the car and get it to where it would be good and hammer down on the racetrack.
Well, Justice was exactly hammered down during that heat race, guys.
Thank you, Earl. Race number 92 out on the racetrack. Did you get a look from the FK Run and Speed shot? 210 Carter Batterby on the front row. Alongside of him, the 5Y of Bradley Hewish. Casey Bauman in the 9B and Matt Moore in the number 9 car in all 9, row 2. Cooper Williams, the 99X, and the 38 of Isabella Landis in row number 3. Ashley Colzer in the 743 and Kevin Batterby in the 15K are row 4. The 84D of Dalton Moss and the 14S of Cannon McIntosh. Another heat race. We will see McIntosh come from the trunk.
Yeah, non-wing, he did so, spun out due to just contact with the driver ahead, had to drive back through the field and salvage some good points, hoping that does not happen. But so far, green to checkered in these heat races, so going to have to get after it if you're Cannon Mac.
Looks like somebody on the outside row not answering the call. McIntosh is lined up in 8th. Looks like, I believe, the 38 of Isabella Landis. The car not answering the call, scheduled for 6th. So Kevin Batterby and Kevin McIntosh both slide up a row here at the drop of the initial green flag, and we go to work, and now we will go yellow, a double tip over, almost simultaneous over there in turn number 2.
Cannon got a couple freebies there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
Freebies
always
are
easier
always
to
nice.
get those to take, you know, they'll give you more than you can take.
Yeah.
So.
Haircuts, heaters, and positions on the racetrack.
There you go. What else? All right, we'll take a look at the iBox Springs instant replay as the drivers get out of the race car. Here's what happened right off of turn number 2. Oh, and a little bit of a wheel stand. I don't know if it was contact from the driver ahead. Here's a second look at it from the top cam.
I think it was here. Hewish to the outside. Yep. Left front to right front. That was Casey Bauman. The two of them got together. And you know, we talk a lot about luck, Jonathan. Sometimes the luck of just how you catch another race car. We see guys make contact to drive away, and other times you get a little bit of contact and you're both over.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at Matt's car there. I don't know if it's enough damage that he couldn't race, but he seems like he's given up. Maybe he knew something different, but it didn't look that bad. I mean, the wing's not good, but I would if I could, I'd stay out there. I mean, I'm already here for the week.
Right.
I might as well try to make something happen because you don't know what's going to happen on the next restart.
Yep. Yeah. While Brian chases down Matt, let's go back up top for a K1 Race Gear interview with Earl Hoon.
Hey, Carl and Shane, it's been a long time no see, bud. It's been 2 races. How's your night been?
Oh, it's been phenomenal, you know. I'm so happy to be here right now.
Yeah, you get to stand next to Earl.
I mean, yeah, everyone's happy to stand next to me when I put a microphone in their face. No, dude, seriously, good job on getting another heat race win and keep up that momentum throughout the week.
Yeah, I thought I was screwed whenever I drew number 2, and I think it was like 42 for restrictor. I was like, oh, crap. But the track worked out perfectly for us, and I just got a good start there. We do need to change that gear because that car was going ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta the entire time.
You heard the man.
You heard it.
Can we get that one more time?
Can you do that one more
like?
time for us?
Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta.
That's awesome.
In 3 heat races, Colin Shane's racked up 2 heat race wins.
Yeah,
How
pretty
about
good.
that, Chris Wilner?
Shout out to him for playing along with you two goons
I
up
was
there.
about to say, what a champ standing between you gentlemen.
He cannot wait to get away from you guys. Who could blame him?
Brian Ward, we'll catch up with you. Are you still down in the infield?
Yeah, I'm just going to chime in real quick. I talked with Matt just a second. He didn't want to go on air. He's pretty frustrated, but I did look over that car while they had it parked in the infield, and I think you guys were right. It didn't look like there was any significant damage other than the wings, but this was the second incident he was involved in. He went upside down in non-wing action earlier today and tore the front end up, and they had to go thrash on the car and get it ready to go, and lap number 1 turns it over and tears up more stuff, so he was frustrated and just kind of down on his luck there and wanted to get off the racetrack and end it while he could.
Yeah, cut his losses there and see what he can do. If he's going to run stock non-wing, I don't know if he's entered in that or not. I'd imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine so too. But we're going to get a complete restart here, and that's going to move
Cannon to the inside.
Yeah, Cannon back to the now to the inside, row number 4. So a little bit better of an opportunity as the green flag is in the air. 8-lap heat race is underway, and 3 wide nearly for a moment there in turn 2. Around the outside is going to go that 84 of Dalton Most. And there's a look at the 99K of Cooper Williams up to 3rd already in that blue and pink. Number 99 as we look back to Cannon McIntosh making some hay on the bottom.
Yeah, McIntosh and Bradley Hewish. Remember, Hewish was involved. He was one of the tip-overs over there off of turn number 2. Hewish trying to make his way forward with McIntosh. Oh, no! Wrong place, wrong time for McIntosh. Kevin Batterby. The berm reached out and bit him. And Batterby went around, and Cannon McIntosh nowhere to go. And another heat race and another yellow flag Cannon McIntosh involved in, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, crazy. Your Power Eye Midget Champ, Extreme Outlaw Midget Champ, and it has not been a day of heat races to remember for Cannon McIntosh. Let's take a look at the replay from the top camera. Look up ahead. Oh, yeah, just a looped around, went the 15.
Yeah, got up on the berm, and when he came off of it, it grabbed the left front and pulled him around.
Yeah, the berm's tricky to run. I mean, like I said, I think I've done a lot of good finishes running the berm, but, I mean, it can bite you if you don't get down, if you don't race on one much. But
yeah.
I was going to say, how many places are there really that you can run on a berm like you get here? And
Port City had one 4 or 5 years ago, but it wasn't like one you could kind of run on.
Yeah.
So I don't see one much.
All right.
Still
2
6
yellows?
to go.
Yeah, 2 yellows, 2 laps.
He's got time.
Drop the hammer again, Carter Batterby, and now someone does not sound like that engine is at full song as we get back under the green flag. It's being led now out of Casey Bauman as Cooper Williams in that 3rd spot looking for 2nd on Bauman. Single file around the bottom, no real big movers or shakers, keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I think Cannon pulled off.
Yeah, Cannon pulled off. That's what I was just looking at. Cannon McIntosh.
Kind of cheering for Cooper here. Cooper Williams. He drove my midget a couple times, and he doesn't race all that much. So I'm hoping he can figure out something here and get a couple more positions.
Yeah, moves to the top side here, trying to follow Dalton Most.
Yeah, Most just drove around him. Dalton Most started this race in 9th. He started last in the field. Was supposed to be right next to McIntosh. Remember, McIntosh ended up starting 8th, but Dalton Most right now is from 8th to 3rd. Cooper Williams trying to reel him back in. They're both trying to close in on Casey Bauman, and Bradley Hewish from the tip over earlier, still running in that top 5, trying to salvage all he can.
Look at how much it's getting blown off already through the middle, Jonathan. I mean, we're 3 heat races in.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to lap times from the first heat, but it's a half second off probably. It didn't last long at all.
Checkered flag, Carter Batterby is going to take the win. Casey Bauman, Dalton Mostyn, Cooper Williams with Bradley Hewish. Good rebound for a top 5 finish. As that'll do it for our 3rd heat race for the Winged A class. Take a look at the results. Race number 92. Remember, going to 160 today, so plenty of racing still to come. For those of you joining us here on FloRacing, just take a look at the Joe's Racing Products ramp cam. Next heat race is down and ready to go. Take a look at our lineup for the Winged A class. Alan Sane and TJ Smith, your front row. TJ's been a busy guy so far today. Alan Hazel and Brent Cruz, who has a heat race win already in the non-wing. He'll start outside of row number 2. Bladen Graham and Caden Barker in row 3. Connor Moranis and Justin Burr in row 4. Kason Matthews and Nicholas Skias rounding out your 10-car starting field.
Yeah, I like TJ on the front of this one. Brent Cruz should be fast, but still, it's just, I don't know. It's not that racy yet, but the tops looks like it's getting faster. Maybe it's kind of getting all the marbles blown off of there. So I think you might see DJ there.
Chris Wilner, Chris Moore, and Jonathan Beeson with you in the broadcast booth. Appreciate Jonathan coming down and joining us. Of course, you will see him racing here at the Chili Bowl coming up in about a week and a half's time. Trying to get that elusive driller, huh? You've got a couple shootout drillers, not Chili Bowl.
That Chili Bowl one's going to be tough, but I always said if for some reason I could win it, I would definitely retire after that. I wouldn't see any reason to keep going. But,
well, now we kind of got to root against you. We want to see you keep racing.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
And that was one thing I told the 10J guys when I was running them. Was like, hey, I want to win Winged Outlaw. And I said, I won't race the shootout again once I win it. And they're like, oh, no. And, of course, I got second my first year, and then I got second again, which I think I should have won one.
Yep.
And then third the next year. So my first 3 runs with them were top 3 finishes. And I still think if I won one more, I feel like I would be happy with that and maybe could stop. But I definitely don't know that I want to race against my kid if he stays in it.
You don't want to be like LeBron and hey, he's got Bronny on the team? No?
No, I mean, because I can already tell these kids are getting better and better. I mean, I'm already getting beat by some of them. So...
Yeah, it's probably harder, too. It's not quite like having them on the same team, right?
True.
You're out there, you're trying to beat them.
Yeah.
I don't
know what they're doing there.
Yeah, I think somebody thought we were going green, but these flashing yellow lights mean that we're not.
Correct, yeah. If you can't get the memo off of that, or Terry Maddox giving you the big old slow down.
Terry's mean out there.
He is.
I've been on the wrong end of his flag point a few times.
Well,
we don't need to revisit that.
You race here enough, right? It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it does.
Now the lights are out, coming to green for our 4th heat race. Alan Sane and TJ Smith. TJ from the outside is going to see the green flag. Down the hill they go into turn 1 and 2, and Smith gets the whole shot, and Brent Cruz trying to follow through, but the line taken away by Alan, so he'll dive to the bottom and take over second, but TJ Smith has lap number 1.
Yeah, but that move there from Sane just to shut the door on Cruz a little bit allowed TJ Smith to open up a little bit of a gap. Sane's going to lose another spot, this time to Caden Barker. Barker up to 3rd, and we got a log jam back here at the tail of the field. Everybody squirts their way through, though. They're working off at turn number 4.
Ski is through. That was Alan Hazel. Also the Justin Burr machine. Justin Burr on the bottom, still trying to fight around. Well, they make more contact, too, and that's the 0-1D of Alan Sane. So Sane going the wrong direction, as there goes the 32, Justin Burr to the inside in 3 and 4. Back up toward the front. Here comes Bladen Graham, the California racer. He won just about everything, making his way to the back bumper of Caden Barker in the Hyper Racing number 95. That's the battle for 3rd. Top 2 are absolutely checked out on this field.
And they've stayed about the same distance. They were about 3/4 of a second after the first lap. This time, they're at 3/4 of a second. So Smith and Cruz just locked together at about that much of a distance.
Brent Cruz's fastest lap was his last lap, so he's starting to close in just a teeny bit. It's going to run out of time. White flag is out. And there's the gap between 1st and 2nd. But a non-wing shootout winner is going to win a heat race here in the Winged A class. That is TJ Smith. Brent Cruz, Caden Barker, Bladen Graham, and Nicholas Skias, your top 5. All right, Jonathan, what do you think? 11.8 last lap. We were running down the 11.7s.
Yeah, they slowed up a tenth or two from the heat race before. But TJ's kind of, what I know of TJ, I've gotten to know him better over the last few years, but he's definitely more of a top guy. So I saw him go in the bottom there at first, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like him. But he quickly got up there and got up to speed. But those wings, man, they make such a difference. They fix all the problems you're having when you don't have the wings on there, and they make it's kind of fun to drive. Wasn't ever a wing guy. I ran minimal wing sprint car stuff, but every time I've put a wing on here, it just seems they're fun. I mean, you make some speed. The sliders, I feel like maybe are a little better with the wings on because they hold you. I don't know.
Interesting
They
stuff.
make some wind. They make some air in here that you can't tell on the TV.
Yeah. Well, Keith McIntyre Jr., Reese Shelton, your front row in this one. BJ Fernandez, Cash Lovenberg, Austin McSpirit, Dylan Berglund, Quiggle, Charmless, Kelly, and Doherty, all in this 5th heat race for the winged A class. As Shelton there is going to have the advantage in that B&B 5 machine to the whole shot. He'll take the lead. Cash Lovenberg, though, talented racer.
Yeah, I feel like Cash Lovenberg, between last year and this year, he's undefeated in heat races. He's got that 21 car rolling right now to the outside of Reese Shelton. He led at the line. Now he'll beat him down the back straightaway. Lovenberg will clear Shelton for the top spot, and he'll keep it posted right up on that top side, right in the moisture. And with that rework, it's not all the way up against the wall anymore, and it definitely looks like the fast way around right now.
Looks really snug around the top of the racetrack does Cash Lovenberg, the Lemoore non-wing outlaw track champion this year. A little bit farther back, Mason Doherty, Keith McIntyre Jr. duking it out for 3rd, and that's going to bring in Alec Quiggle in the picture. And Quiggle's going to go topside in 3 and 4. And may have an opportunity just to circle the wagons around Keith McIntyre Jr., and he will. Maybe a little contact there.
Quiggle trying to make up for last night, made a mistake running in the outlaw wing division, ended up spinning out and cost himself a good opportunity trying to make up for it here in A class. He started this one back in 7th, just took the 4th spot away, trying to reel in the 29X of Mason Doherty, but running out of time. There you see Cash Lovenberg putting it to Reese Shelton. He will work off of 4 with a 2.5-second victory over the 5A of Reese Shelton. Mason Doherty, Alec Quiggle, and Keith McIntyre Jr. are your top 5. There you're going to look at the results on your screen. That's a good run for
Doherty, too, from 10th to 3rd. Let's go upstairs for a K1 Race Gear interview. Earl Hoon, who you got?
Texan Carter Batterby up here with me, buddy, and congratulations on getting the heat race win, but have you ever saw the track surface this consistent in your shootout career as what we have here so far this week?
If I've seen it like this, it's been a couple years ago. Like, it's been, I wouldn't say bad because these people work really hard for this track, but it's very good this year and it hasn't been like this in a while.
No doubt about it. Congratulations on getting that heat race win.
Thank you so much.
That's Carter Batterby, guys. He's a huge Texas A&M fan, and he also tells me that's where he currently goes to school as well.
Gig 'em. Is that what they say down there?
Yes.
Gig 'em?
Yeah.
There you go. How about that? And he's been coming to the shootout for quite some time, that's for sure. A little quick trip around the Expo Raceway for the water wagon as we get the last of the heat race field off the racing surface. Blake Anderson's back up at the top of the ramp and has our latest heat race winner, TJ Smith.
He's the guy that knows the way around the Tulsa Expo Center. TJ, heat race. Boy, I feel like we just got to the afternoon and kind of got a slog and bogged down. Does that make you a little bit impatient to get back in the car?
Yeah, we didn't have a great outlaw non-wing heat race this morning. You know, made a couple of bad mistakes, and it kind of sits in your mind throughout the day. So you kind of want to get back in and kind of forget about it, but the day kind of just seemed to drag on all day long. And, you know, the restricted heat races took a while, and being one of the first races out, I knew it was going to be tough. Track might be narrow, but, you know, my guys got me dead on, and we went out and did our job.
That put the pressure on you a little bit more in this class, knowing that's the next one on when the first one doesn't go the way you planned?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you get a head of steam from the day before, and you come in and you kind of knock yourself down a little, so you got to kind of try to pick yourself up, and heat race win always helps.
TJ Smith picks up a heat race win, guys.
Thank you, Blake.
I'm surprised Blake didn't tell him that Jonathan was disappointed in him for going to the bottom right away.
Yeah, I should have.
Here's your next heat race coming out of the racetrack. Race number 95 of the Wing 8 class. Noah Carpenter and Jason Sechrist on the front row. Curtis Jones and Hudson Truitt in road number 2. Grayson Price had a good outing in the restricted class. He'll start inside row 3 to his outside Cruz Dickerson in the 33. Neil Allison and Luke Hinckley in row 4. Christopher Bell from inside of row 5 with Austin Saunders starting 10th. Okay, Jonathan Beeson, racetrack prime for a little C-Bell run here?
Yeah, I think so. This is going to be the first time I get to see that car. It's kind of a unique one-off car that Sawyer's put together, and so I'm kind of anxious to see what it does. But he's C-Bell, so I think he can figure it out. But, I mean, there's, like I said, all these people are getting better and better every year, so people catch up to you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Randy Ward. There he is. How about that? Brian, I wonder if Brian has to play babysitter sometimes. We'll have to ask him here a little bit later. Let's go upstairs. Cash Levenberg, latest heat race winner. He's standing by.
Yep, started 4th and was able to get that win. That's going to give you some solid points going into the event later this week.
Yeah, it is. I finally started a little bit further back and won a heat. Every year before, I just start like top 2, win the heats, and no points starting the back qualifiers and get stuck back there. But, I mean, I couldn't do any of it without Pro Citrus Network, Jack's Processing, and all my other sponsors, and G-Baby Specialties and Harry Bedokium Engines.
Cash Levenberg is nothing but money here in this heat race. Guys, also, while we have some time, never mind, we're going green. Jonathan, I got a question for you later on.
All right.
Jonathan, you don't have to answer it. Don't worry. Green flag is out here on race number 95. Noah Carpenter with a great jump here at the drop of the green flag. Quickly opens up several car lengths, and there you see they fan out 4 wide off the corner. And we got a couple a little bit slow back there. Everybody keeps it going. We will continue on.
Keeping a look at the drivers starting to move around. That's Austin Saunders working the high line around the 22 of Curtis Jones. And just ahead of them, the 11S of Jason Sechrist. Noah Carpenter trying to pull away. Christopher Bell, we mentioned inside row 5, he's up to 5th. And on the move in that 14A machine, had a really good run in the non-wing as well earlier this morning.
Yeah, this is a 3-car battle for second. Christopher Bell quickly trying to make it a 4-car battle. Sechrist seems like he gets away a little bit, and then Saunders and Jones reeling back in. Saunders the one right now applying the pressure. Sechrist a little bit up off that berm, and Saunders trying to run him down, but again, he's still got pressure to the inside from Curtis Jones, and there you see Sechrist now opens up a couple of car lengths. Saunders drops to the bottom. Great racing here. Nobody really passing anybody here second through 4th, but they're going at it, and here comes C-Bell.
Yeah, Bell to the inside of the 22 of Jones, and is going to try to just use that berm just to get the car turned. Pops a little wheel stand here at the white flag. So move Christopher Bell from 9th to 4th. Can he get one more? Noah Carpenter's already grabbed the checkered flag. Jason Sechrist in 2nd. Austin Saunders, big battle there at the line, and moves Saunders to P2. What a run. Sechrist back to 3rd. Bell and Curtis Jones, your top 5.
Noah Carpenter is almost across the scales, and they just finished the race. Yeah. He was absolutely ripping.
Yeah, and we've got one that went kaboom on the front straightaway. Driver climbing out of the 33. That's Cruz Dickerson, who had a good run in his non-wing earlier this morning. Heard a pop and then saw some smoke. Glad to see the driver is out.
Yeah, he's out, everybody. You see Terry Maddox there smiling, so everybody appears to be okay. Jonathan, how much fun is that when you get a race car like that? Granted, he started up front, but you get a race car like that, you can go out, and obviously that race car was locked in.
Yeah, I've had a few of them here that, they're just Cadillacs to drive. But you hope you get one every time you roll on the track. It doesn't always work that way, but, you just try and kind of make some mental notes of what the track was like. I mean, there's a good chance you're going to race on something like that in the future if you can get there. So he was good, and he was running. I wasn't paying too much attention, but it didn't look like he was running all the way up on the top. I wish I was kind of watching the race with Bell to see if he was going to sneak any more.
Yeah, so there you get a look at that extinguished engine there, but sounds like Easy Earl's got more up at the top of the ramp for us.
Yeah, guys, the big story here all week long so far is the technical inspection kind of things, right? And right now, this is the first time we've seen it all week. And Jonathan, this is a great question for you, because as the cars roll off the scales, they're having the drivers sit in the cockpit, right? And they're just rocking the car back and forth and checking all the gears. They said they're checking to make sure the cars have 6 gears. Have you ever seen that one here at the shootout or anywhere else you race it here in America?
Not, during the race. I mean, I've made it to tech a few times, and that's, in the stock classes, they're going to check and make sure, bare minimum, I've seen them do alternators, make sure they're on. I don't know that they have to work, but they have to be on. You got to have all 6 gears in all the stock classes. So it's an easy check. I mean, it's not going to catch everything, but it's simple things, and I think it's good. I mean, because I think there probably is some people that have snuck some outlaw motors in to kind of help them get into the feature, and then after that, if you don't make top 5, you'll never make real tech. So they're just trying to get in.
Yeah, were you surprised a little bit too, the amount of, on the outlaw side of things, looking at stroke and bore and things like that after the race?
I would think so. I mean, that's kind of unique, but yeah, I'm sure there's easy way to check. I know Suzuki makes a 750 that's like the same casting or really similar. You wouldn't know them apart. Besides the serial number. And then other than that, I don't know what else you would go that much bigger on one. I mean, I don't know. They're too expensive to push too much limits, and everybody's doing it.
100%. All right, well, when we get the next heat race out on the racetrack, Blake Anderson is standing by for another K1 Race Gear interview.
Largest win of the week so far. 5 seconds. Noah Carpenter. What do you tell your crew after that one?
Yeah, I was a little worried about the track rework right before, but man, I can't give a big enough thank you to my dad, Jared Huckleberry, Shaggy, the whole 10J crew. We've got this thing absolutely on rails. Felt amazing. That's, in my opinion, the best car I've ever driven, so I can't give them enough thank you. My shock people, Midwest Suspension Company, all my sponsors for getting me here, Hydro Clear Services, RW3 Services, HJ Construct, Loman Law Firm, Family Chiropractic, track was really good, and we were even better.
Well, Chris Moore, he beat that last heat race worse than Ohio State's beating Oregon right now.
You're darn right about that, Blake. Absolutely. Sean Whitney, Davis LeMaster, your front row. Danny Bukafuska, Hayden Wise in row 2. Alex Caldwell, Michael Greener, and the rest of the field will flash by as we go complete our opening circuit in another wild start to the Wing A class. And lap 1 will go to Sean Whitney.
Yeah, Whitney out to the front. Here comes LeMaster trying to work to the inside. This now a good battle for the lead as LeMaster drops to the bottom. Here comes Danny Bukafuska now trying to follow him through. Just call him Danny B.
Danny B, my man, Danny B is on the move, trying to make it happen here in third, looking for second on Sean Whitney. Whitney ripping the top side of the racetrack.
He trying to. He was out in front, moved up there. Yeah. LeMaster got by for the lead. Now Bukafuska trying to get back by here, or sorry, trying to get by for the runner-up spot. He'll slide up a little bit. They trade that spot back and forth. Bukafuska had it last time at the line. This time it's Whitney.
Danny B still committing to the bottom side of this racetrack, still side by side for that spot. Lurking in the wings is going to be Hayden Wise, young lady out of Huntersville, North Carolina, trying to catch this group. And here comes the 44N of Whitney, starting to get that car wound up. And Davis LeMaster, you have company to the outside. Battle for the lead, and right around the outside goes Sean Whitney, pulling even this time through. LeMaster in the slick, and bye-bye goes Sean Whitney.
Yeah, I don't know if Whitney started to get faster up there or LeMaster started to make some mistakes. Definitely looked like he was when Whitney was getting to him, and now Whitney will drive back around him, and Sean Whitney looked like he might fall back to third. Instead, he'll get the heat race win over LeMaster, Bukafuska, Hayden Wise, and Christopher Townsend, your top 5. But how about that for a comeback from Sean Whitney? Started out in front, fell back to second, almost lost that spot, and instead put the whip to it up on the top, picks up the heat race win.
How difficult, Jonathan, is it when you're the leader, knowing if somebody's making hay on the top? Are you actually watching the screen, especially now that it's been moved over to turn 2?
Yeah, you would when it was in the other location. I don't know. My pit guys, Trent and Sam, they always think I can see them while I'm driving. I'm not paying attention to them. So you might, I think if your car's good, sometimes things will slow down enough, but it's going to be difficult over there because you're kind of right. You might be able to catch it right going in the center, but they got to be on you.
Yeah.
and it doesn't do you any good. So
the two-seater out on the racetrack. Your lineup for race number 97 will roll out in a little bit. Paige Perrine in the 55P and Austin Torgerson make up the front row. Jacob Mosley in the 14M and Cooper Flynn in the 88A. Wyatt Miller, the 73M, last year's restricted champion. Alongside of him, Mason Spahn in the 52S. Tylen Trammell in the 14U, Jace Park in the 81C. Logan Heath and Levi Hink make up the fifth and final row as Wing Day class race number 97 overall gets set to roll out onto the racetrack.
Getting so close to the century mark. And speaking of, here's your ones to watch still to come here on our first full day at the Tulsa Shootout. Kyle Busch, already a two-time heat race winner, coming up in just a few. Sam Johnson, of course, he's got a pair of heat race wins. So too does our own Clinton Boyles. He'll be back after race 106 when he completes his heat race. And then, of course, his cousin Cameron Key, who is always a threat inside this building. Plus much, much more still to come here on FloRacing. So hope that you got something to eat back at home and you're locked in, ready to finish out the night with us here inside the SageNet Center. Chris Moore, Chris Willner, Jonathan Beeson joining us. Of course, our whole team. We'll have Caleb Hart back here in just a little while. And then, of course, we've got Brian Ward in the infield, Blake Anderson, Earl Hoon Jr. at the top of the ramp. And we are having a blast here on New Year's Day.
I heard we were supposed to try to get Blake in the two-seater.
Yeah, Blake, well, Chris and Blake need to do it. I want to see Blake do it.
That was the word. Jake Rosario texts Clinton, and I talked to Jake. I said, I'll do it. I'm in.
All right. So if you hear screams one of the next times the two-seaters out there, you know it's Blake back there.
I'll do it at Chili Bowl. Blake can have it shootout.
Now, Blake, you got to act like you're driving the thing. Like
okay.
When I did it, you got to get up on the wheel. And
are you driving it, Jonathan?
No, I mean, Jake maybe would let me, but no, Jake knows how to put it through its paces,
I know.
So.
I don't doubt that with Jake Rosario.
Well, let's go to the infield. Brian Ward, you have been camped out there all night long. What can you tell us?
Yeah, haven't had a whole lot to do in the 8 class. They've been doing pretty well, just like we saw with the Winged Outlaw last night. But I wanted to hit on something that Earl asked about. He's mentioned it up there in tech, and Jonathan hit on it as well, talking about shifting through the gears to make sure all the gears are there. I ran a micro for about 4 years. It was never really good behind the wheel, so when I made it to tech, that was a delight. I do remember one time at I-44, we made it into the tech area. They wanted to do the exact same thing, go through the gears. Many of the drivers said, let's just shift through them, and they said, no, there is a mechanism that you can trick it and make it think we're shifting through the gears when they're not actually there. So we had to drop our oil pans, drain the oil, drop them, and they went underneath with a flashlight to physically put their eyes on all the gears there in the transmissions.
Wow. Seems like a lot, Jonathan.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Oh, my goodness.
See, the Outlaw cars, you can actually have like my motor and the 10J guys brought, or it was the first time I drove one, but fourth gear, they took the traditional fourth gear out and they replace it with another gear that's essentially like taking one tooth off.
Yeah.
And on this deal with this track, from such a size difference from the bottom to the top, I used it tremendously all the time, and I thought it helped me a lot. Knowing when to use it,
right,
when not to use it, and there's some of these people, maybe younger kids, they wouldn't know any better. But it really can change the attitude of the car and make more speed.
We got our next heat race out on the racetrack. Quickly back upstairs, Earl Hoon Jr. What do you got?
Sean Whitney up here. How about it in his rookie appearance here at the shootout? He gets a heat race win in fine fashion. Sean, walk me through that final lap.
Yeah, I was just, he got underneath me and started running the top, and at least it seemed like I was holding on to second, and all of a sudden I seemed to start gaining on him. I just tried and held in for everything I could to try to get past him and make that win, and we accomplished it.
How about it, Sean Whitney, a heat race winner here, boys. Real quick, we're going to have Derek pan the camera over to his left as technical inspection is starting to heat up. Now we're starting to stage cars up here, and they're starting to tear the motors apart, so we'll have more on that story later on.
Yeah, and that's the story that has been kind of developing each and every day now as the scrutineering gets tighter and tighter, and random checks of the motors. I mean, again, yesterday we saw a couple of drivers having to go through that, and then obviously we had the Anton Hernandez disqualification. We already had one today for being light at the scales. Ryan Timms was docked that in non-wing outlaw. So the precedent has been set by the Expo Raceway staff.
Yeah, I haven't seen him do any tire. I mean, I brought my grooving iron up for JJ's race and hoping he would get his tire grooved, but
They
didn't
took
do
a
it.
few.
And I think they should keep doing that because that's an easy thing. A lot of people do it at their tracks that don't ever tech. And on a track like right now, that could be a big advantage if somebody is doing something. So it stinks is if they're thinking they're not doing it. Now, the good thing, it could just surprise somebody, but if they know they're not doing it, somebody may pull a different tire out of the trailer. I guess, shame on them, but some of these people will do whatever it takes.
What do you got, Blake?
They've taken a few tire samples.
Okay.
I think they've got a whole sheet full. So about
it
15.
seems kind of like it's been random, kind of like my
I
motor
knew
checks.
KJ Snow won a couple races, and Sam, who helps me, he never brought his deal.
It's been like one. I mean, I've only seen it like 1 out of 10, I'd say, and I'm there every other heat race, Jonathan. So it's not a ton, but they've got a random selection of them for sure.
Good.
You think that's enough to keep them on? I mean, I guess as long as somebody out there says, "Hey, they checked my tires," right?
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
I don't know. It's hard to,
Depends on the person, right?
Yeah.
who's willing to do it, right?
It's a whole nother game out there when it comes to this stuff. Unbelievable. Got a shot of Jace Park out there, or Wyatt Miller, I should say.
Yeah.
Talked about his restricted win and what he did too, also driving the non-wing.
This is a good heat race, right? Austin Torgerson's looked good so far. He's outside front row. Wyatt Miller, you just mentioned, we did see Jace Park as well, and we know that Levi Hinks got good equipment there in that 21H machine. So this a pretty good heat race here, race number 97. We start to close in on the century mark here, the 40th running of the Smiley's race product. Tulsa Shootout, race number 97 is green, and Austin Torgerson, just as we said, right off the drop, quickly to the point.
Yeah, Page did not get going whatsoever, and here comes Wyatt Miller already in the Tufco CB Industries car. And it sounds like a sour motor on Page. And she's going backwards, and there around goes Jace Park, and the rest of the field should pull to the infield and be done for the day. But back up front, battle of the CB Industries cars. There goes Wyatt Miller over Jace Park.
Yeah.
And Miller up to P3 already, started 5th, in just 2 laps, able to make it. And here comes Jace Park trying to just keep pace.
Yeah, Tyler Trammell got to run underneath of it. Park shut the door on him. Now here comes Miller. The door opens up underneath Cooper Flynn, now 5th to 2nd. For Wyatt Miller. Flynn trying to keep it wound up on the top side, but Wyatt Miller's now gone 5th to 2nd, and Jace Park has gone 8th to 4th here in the early going.
And Chad's got that car pretty tight, it looks like.
Yep, you see him just kind of barely having to saw on it. That thing is locked on the bottom. Jace Park just trying to keep pace, but needs to get around Cooper Flynn if he's going to try to track down your top 2. Into the picture, too, is Millbridge regular Tylen Trammell trying to catch Jace Park, who again made 4 features 2 years ago here at the shootout, all 4. Looking to try to replicate that, but he needs to probably get one more for added insurance. Meanwhile, Wyatt Miller's catching your leader.
Yeah, Park has not been fast when he's moved up off the bottom. He'll ride there and be content for 4th. Austin Torgerson, though, does what he needed to do off the outside of the front row. Another impressive run from Wyatt Miller. He'll get 2nd. Cooper Flynn, Jace Park, and Tylen Trammell round out the top 5. Trammell started in 7th, so a decent run for him to go 7th to 5th, pick up a couple of spots.
8 to 4 for Park, still pretty a valiant effort for sure.
That'll probably get him in a qualifier. Yeah. But I know everybody, the goal for everybody is trying to make that invert.
Yeah.
That's really the bubble. When you're, Jace Park, right, you're trying to make the invert, so he's going to be tough for that.
Yeah, that little bit of water right there, they got 2/10 faster.
Yeah.
So, but it won't last long. So, yeah, I think in the non-wing classes, I wouldn't mind if I had to, go to the back of a qualifier. That's the ones I want to be in, the non-wing. These wing ones, it seems to level the playing field out where the drivers, it's a little bit easier, I guess I could say. So, one year I think I started 11th in a qualifier and got to 2nd, and went from whatever place that was in points to starting on the pole of the feature.
Gotcha. Race number 98 out on the racetrack. Braxton Flatt's been busy today so far. Has already run restricted. Ready to go from the pole. Junior sprint champion from a year ago. Eli Morgan, Tanner Tucker, Carson Carter in row number 2. Row number 3, moving on, is Brant Twitty, Joey Robinson, Hot Rod, Kaylee Esger, Jeffrey Newell is going to start deep in this one in 8th. John Crowder and Jaden Barnes rounding out your field. Green flag is in the air.
Mr. Bump and Run out to the front. And
stole the hearts and minds of Shootout fans last year with that epic interview. And
yeah, but Terry doesn't have any fans.
What's going to happen here?
No.
See that? I guess the only thing he did swap.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of got screwed last year at the Chili Bowl, and I just want to make sure that everybody either doesn't get a second chance or they do, one or the other. They need to stick with it.
So far, no one has gotten a second chance. They've been very consistent.
Yeah, I believe they said at drivers' meeting that there are. This is your warning. The drivers' meeting was the warning.
That's how it should be then.
Tanner Tucker to the point in this winged A class, so that'll move Braxton Flatt back to inside of row number 2. So we'll try it again. Green flag is in the air.
Let's see if the bump and run comes out.
We know he knows how to do it.
Well, he's going to get eaten up here because Robinson around the outside. Here comes Jeffrey Newell running out of the BKR stable for Brian Kemenaugh. But back up front, battle for the lead. Eli Morgan's going to take it from the bottom of the racetrack on Tanner Tucker.
Yeah, Eli Morgan rolling that bottom as you mentioned, Jonathan, they put that little bit of water down. It's really brought the bottom to life right now. And Morgan able to take advantage of it. Braxton Flatt holding firm there in the 3rd spot. Kaylee Esgar trying to get her underneath Joey Robinson. He'll shut the door on her, and he will hold on to the 4th spot.
There's Jeffrey Newell. He knows he just has to go. He's trying everything he can. Just stuck right now behind the 29 of Jaden Barnes.
Braxton pulled off.
And Braxton Flatt, yes, has pulled to the infield. So a promising year at the shootout for the junior sprint champ from last year. Comes up short here in this heat race, but here's Jeffrey Newell starting to get that 21 wound up. He finally gets around Jaden Barnes for 5th.
Yeah, that moves him to 5th. That's a good pickup there for Newell. Started in 8th, now trying to run down Kaylee Esgar. All of a sudden, the 21's got the momentum wound up, and he's got speed up there on the top side. Coming after another one, he'll go to the outside of Esgar down here in 1 and 2. He will take the 4th spot. A lap and a half to go. Does he have enough time to get the 3rd? You see Robinson hang a little sideways. The 21, Newell's quickly closing in.
Yeah, Robinson heard footsteps, trying to move up on the straightaway. That's not for lost, as here we go. Checkered flag is out. Morgan wins it. Tucker's 2nd. And how about Jeffrey Newell deep in this one? Started 8th to 3rd. Joey Robinson and Kaylee Esgar, your top 5. How patient do you have to be? You saw Jeffrey Newell pound in the top early, and it was like he was going nowhere, and it finally started to come to life. Do you just have to stay committed at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was watching to see where those guys are at on the bottom, and he knew that the bottom's slowing up. So I think, he made the right decision there to just keep plugging the top.
Let's go upstairs to the top of the ramp and another K1 Race Gear interview.
With Austin Torgerson. Austin, Jonathan Beeson just mentioned on the broadcast, the bottom looks like maybe slowing up just a little bit. Did you consider jumping up to the high side there?
I mean, I ran the top for a couple corners, and I went to the bottom, and I seen that they just watered it, so the bottom was definitely more hooked up then. And, I mean, I looked at the first race before me, and they were on the top, so I tried it, and the bottom was just better, and they just watered it.
Bottom better right now, but Jonathan, being interesting, it kind of feels like the track changes it so quickly here. In the matter of a heat race or two, it can flip to the top from the bottom or vice versa.
Yeah. You better be committed to doing what you want to do at the start of the green.
Absolutely. Jason Tessier, Brett Osborne, Merrick Pipe, Scotty Milan, Noah Gass, Eric Brunmeyer, Steve Davis, Dustin Tessier, and Garen Howard with Owen Halpane bringing up the rear here in this one. And it is already off to a physical start.
Yeah, Jason, it's crazy. Those two are cousins, and out of all the classes, they're in the same heat race.
It was like with the Torgesons yesterday.
Yeah, they were.
Yep, so we go to work. Merrick Pipe, you see him in the 3rd spot, rolling down on the bottom side. Eric Braunmeyer trying to close in 3rd and 4th. Braunmeyer, we've seen it, the top side starting to get there, but that number 1 E-car of Braunmeyer looked wicked tight that time on the top side. I think he's got a tight race car, especially on entry for the 1E. Trying to make it work, though.
Oh, yeah, you can see him just absolutely just cranking it to the left.
Jonathan, that seems, from an outsider's perspective, that seems like a helpless feeling when you're just dead turn to the left waiting for it to come around.
Yeah, they tightened him up a little too much, but it looks like if he can change his entry, he can maybe make it do some things he wants it to do.
There's a look at Scotty Milan in the 97, who has been with this team for quite a while here at the Tulsa Shootout, even with the Chili Bowl, trying to make something happen up there inside the top 5 and 2nd. But back up to this battle, we keep checking on Merrick Pipe and Eric Braunmeyer. Braunmeyer Is he closing just a little bit, or is it the fact that Merrick Pipe is maybe slipping up off the bottom, but it's not going to matter. Caution is out. And it looks like the 07, Garen Howard, who we saw win a heat race in the restricted division, now comes to a stop here inside of turn number 4. Back upstairs, Earl Hoon Jr. with a K1 Race Gear interview. Who do you have, Earl?
I got Eli Morgan up here, guys, and last night when he was in his Outlaw heat race, he was 6th, and now he's able to get the heat race here, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's just so much. This is my first ever race in shootout here. It's our first year in micro, so we're just getting into it. I'm really excited for me and my family.
No doubt about it. Good luck, and for the rest of the weekend, dude.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Eli Morgan, ladies and gentlemen, a heat race winner here in Tulsa.
And a polite young man.
Yeah, have a good night.
I love that.
Earl, you don't need to have a good night. He was talking to the rest of us.
Earl had a good night last night.
Yeah, Penn State.
Those heaters. All right,
Looks
coming
like,
to green,
yep.
I think 2-lap shootout here to finish this one. Osborne versus Milan at the front of the field, although Osborne has a really good restart.
Milan was asleep or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Merrick Pipe switched to the top side there on that restart, kind of threw Braunmeyer for a loop. But you see here your top 2, Osborne rolling the bottom, Milan following him as they come to Terry Maddox's white flag, and Merrick Pipe trying to close in there in that 06 machine.
He's trying, but he left the bottom open for Braunmeyer, but Braunmeyer's going the wrong way. Now Merrick Pipe has something, but it's going to be too little too late. Osborne wins it over Milan, but Merrick Pipe jumps to the top, finishes 3rd over Braunmeyer. Owen Halpane, a good run from dead last to 5th in that 50 machine. And just like that, we pick another one up, put it down, and we are at the century mark. Heat race 100 coming out next.
Feels like New Year's all over again.
Yeah, but you know how there's 389 total races, so we're not quite there.
We're not even a third of the way through.
No.
Feels like we should be. Anyway, race 100 out on the racetrack. You get a look there from the Joe's Racing Products ramp cam as we get set to roll out, as we said, the century mark here. I guess we're a little past a quarter of the way, right? That's one way to look at it.
That's a glass half full
positive light
kind of approach to it, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Chase Schott will go from the pole position and race 100, the 19S machine, alongside of him, the 58 of Kyle Halter. 3rd starting spot, we've seen him pick up 2 heat race wins already out of Nevada. Kyle Busch in the 51 car. Jackson Porter alongside of him in the 222 machine. Cole Schroeder, the number 3, the 1T of Taylor Whitfield. 56, Michael Hubert. 14T Talon Turner, the 1K of Colette DeCero, and the 77J of Connor Gross. Make up your 10-car field here in our 100th race of the Tulsa Shootout. Does Kyle Busch have another one in him?
I honestly think so. He has been super confident in this building so far this week and quickly jumps up to P2 from his 3rd starting spot. Getting around Cole Schroeder. Now battling Cole Schroeder again. This time the crossover move for 2nd. Back to the bottom goes Busch. Caught in the slick just a little bit. Schroeder able to pull away.
Cole Schroeder, that's quickly a 5-2 run for him. In just 2 laps, he's got 3 spots. Now does he have anything to run down the 19S of Chase Schott? Meanwhile, see Kyle Busch rolling the top side. The track, we've talked about, it's changing. Your leader's running the bottom, but the next 3 cars in line all ripping up against the top side. And the 3 of Schroeder starting to reel in your leader. This is 4th and 5th. Connor Gross from 10th up to the 5th spot.
Kyle Halter coming to a stop here right in front of our broadcast position. And you're right. I think for Kyle, too, he could see the ground that Cole Schroeder was making on Schott and said, you know what, I'm just going to follow right here and see what happens. Here's an iBox Springs instant replay coming right at you, and just a lazy loop-de-loop.
Yeah, just got out of the brown up into the slick, and that was all she wrote.
Kyle told me yesterday that he had goosebumps after his Winged Outlaw heat race. That's how good that car was. Now, granted, this is the A-Class, but when Kyle Busch gets goosebumps after all that he's accomplished, like, you know he's a confident guy in this building.
Well, he's got a little bit of work to do now. Cole Schroeder got him with that slide job. The 14T of Talon Turner did not take the green flag, so Connor Gross.
Hard hit yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if the throttle did stick or what it was, but that was bad.
Either the throttle stuck or something broke, but he hit right in front of us, and I have never seen Blake Anderson jump so high out of the seat.
Uh-oh.
Well, that was near disaster for Kyle Busch as Cole Schroeder jumped to the top. That left open Jackson Porter to take that position away. So Kyle going the wrong direction now, back to 4th, as the battle for the lead is going to heat up here in a hurry at the halfway point. Schroeder on the outside, changing lanes now is Schott, but he goes back to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Chase Schott, I'm surprised under that yellow flag. His crew guys up in the stands didn't try and get him to move up. Maybe Schott just feels comfortable down there. He's not going too soon. Cole Schroeder will show a nose here to the outside. Schott knows he's got company now. We go double box. As you see the good battle on the right side of your screen. Schott will shut the door on Schroeder again. A good battle for the lead. They continue to go at it here in a 3 and 4.
Schroeder doing a nice job, but the white flag is going to come out. He needs to absolutely send it here on his last lap. Busch was able to get back up to 3rd, but the battle for the lead just squeaks around the outside, takes the line away on the bottom. Cole Schroeder selling T-shirts. He wins in a photo finish over Schott. Busch finishes 3rd. Jackson Porter, Connor Gross, your top 5. And again, Gross, a good run from the back of the field. That was good stuff.
Yeah, Schroeder did exactly what he needed to do. Got clear of him down the back straightaway and cut off his line. Almost entered too hard and slid up too much, but able to hang on to it.
How much trust do you have on the guy on the inside as you know you have to keep your foot in it, especially off the 2?
I mean, you're hoping that he doesn't come in and run into you, but I think the good thing there is it kind of screwed that guy's entry up. He didn't slow it down and run the bottom. If he would have, he maybe could have pulled back by him, but yeah, it's a good race. That one little pass there may make a big difference for the rest of his week.
Sounds like Blake Anderson's ready up top with a K1 Race Gear interview.
Brett Osborne, how come you didn't make your heat race finish as dramatic as that last one for us?
I don't know. You know, we had our stuff hooked up good. I don't want it that exciting, you know. Being out front like that, you don't want exciting stuff like that to happen. You know, I was fine with having, you know, stuff happening just how it happened, how it did.
That restart go as planned. You absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, you know, we got our stuff tuned up pretty good. It, you know, it takes off real good. So, you know, I knew we had stuff that took off good, so I'm like, might as well use it.
Well, there we go. Brad Osborne, the pride of Carnway, Arkansas heat race winner.
Imagine winning a heat race at the Tulsa Shootout and Blake Anderson asks you a question about why didn't you make your race more exciting?
Like, how?
Come on, Blake. Come on. What are we doing? You're starting to get into Earl territory.
We were enjoying that heat race. Brett and I both enjoyed watching that. We were both smiling and watching. I said, what?
Yeah.
Come on, you couldn't make it like that for us. You still win it. Just make it exciting for us.
I forget who it was that I interviewed, and I think it might have been Robbie Smith, and we had the same conversation. We watched a great heat race right before I talked to him, and I forgot I even had to interview him. We were just fanboying over the race that was going on.
It's easy to do up there at the top of the ramp. Everybody wants to quickly look and see what's going on.
That was good.
Yeah, and then I did the same thing with Kyle Busch. I was just chatting, and all of a sudden in my ear, they're like, we'll throw it up to Chris. I'm like, you shouldn't, because I don't even have the microphone on. Not even ready.
Speaking of not ready, let's go to Earl with Cole Schroeder.
Yeah, thanks, Chris Wilner. And I'm going to, say what you said down there. This guy, Cole Schroeder, selling his shirts throughout the Tulsa Shootout, but still, you weren't really happy with how that motor performed in that heat race. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we didn't get to test anything before we came out here. This was a brand new car we built and new injection, and it's been a little difficult getting it tuned in, but we're getting closer, and hopefully we can make something happen later in the evening and see how it goes. I can't thank everyone over at Hyper for all the help and making this thing happen on track.
Cole Schroeder, part of Hyper West, guys.
Thank you, Earl. Great job to Cole Schroeder. He made that one exciting. Don't worry, Blake. 101, 29D Dylan Mendito, and the 5U of Jack Kasich on the front row. L33 of Leroy Boone and the 34B Colton Robinson in row number 2. 7J of Danica Joe Pacinto and the 319 of Hayden Hansen make up row number 3. 7th starting spot, the 151, Joe B. Miller, and alongside of him in the 89 car is Zach Wiggle. And your final row, 9th starting spot, the 7D of Wyatt Davis and the 9W of Weston Docklin. The 10-car field here in race 101. Jonathan, it's funny, right? Half the racers say I'm glad to put on a good show for the fans, and the other half say I don't want a good show for the fans. I want it to be easy and be out front.
Yeah, I don't care as long as I'm having fun.
Yeah, like I said, I'm from big block territory, and I always joke with Matt Shepard, whenever he wins, I'm like, at least make it exciting, man. And he's like, I don't want it to be exciting. I don't care if you have fun or not.
Yeah. Oh, so it's okay if you ask him to make it exciting.
Right. I don't do it on the microphone, Blake. I do it when I'm handing him the hat with it off.
It's double standard we're setting over here.
No kidding.
You can say whatever you want when the microphone's not on. We do, but when it's on, Kid just wanted to Tulsa Shootout, Blake.
We were laughing. He was having a good time. He's the pride of Carnaway, Arkansas.
And this is a very serious broadcast.
Yeah,
There's been no laughing.
Yeah, no.
None.
Zero fun.
Yeah, zero fun,
Zero
sir. A little bit more water put down, and so a little bit more buzzing in the racetrack here before we roll out race 101.
Jonathan, when you go down the ramp at the Shootout versus ramp at the Chili Bowl, which one's more nerve-wracking?
Yeah, probably the Chili Bowl. I mean, there's a lot more eyes.
Yeah,
I feel like on
that's
you at
true.
the Chili Bowl.
But
So,
I feel like there's so much more at stake in like a shootout heat race because you know you like Chili Bowl on a prelim night you can maybe salvage something, but like here it's over.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. Chili Bowl that's
feels different.
Obviously more important
Yeah.
for me at this stage in my career. So that's where it's going to win out.
Copy that. All right, let's get them rolling. Next heat race is green. Kasich and Dylan Mendito, Larry Boone, Colton Robinson. And they are 3 wide off at turn 4. Somebody's not going anywhere.
Mendito's got problems here. He's slow working through 1 and 2. We are green for the moment, but your pole sitter, Dylan Mendito, his Tulsa Shootout with the Winged A class, not going to go the way he wants it to. But meanwhile, we look here about mid-pack, Danica Joe Vicento and Hayden Hansen. Now here's Joby Miller trying to pick up another spot. Joby Miller quickly on the march here from his 7th starting spot. He's up to 3rd now.
Joby, oftentimes than not, it's never flashy, but he is so good when it's on the bottom. And he is so good at finding ways around drivers, and he makes the most of it as a race car. And boy, he's doing a nice job so far. Needs to pick up a few more, but coming from as deep as he is with how spread out this field is, he's doing a nice job. But back up front, Jack Kasich, he's not out of the woods yet. Colton Robinson doing a nice job keeping him honest. There's a look back at Zach Weigel in the CB Industries 89, the Belpre, Ohio native.
Man, it just seems like, Tulsa Shootout, just whenever your heat race is, you got to hope that the track's in your favor if you're starting further back or starting up front. White flag will wave. It's in Jack Kasich's favor right now. Worked off the outside of the front row, quickly to the lead, and without a mistake, he's going to pick up the win here as Colton Robinson not close enough to offer a challenge.
Kasich did a nice job in his non-wing outlaw, finished 2nd, but he's going to win here in the A-class wing division. His heat race here at the Tulsa Shootout, Robinson, Joby Miller finishing 3rd. Boone and Weigel, your top 5. That B&B chassis goes back to the top of the ramp, a winner here at the Tulsa Shootout. And we are picking them up and putting them down.
Yeah, not as many cautions with wings on. I feel like.
No. You know what's tomorrow morning? Stock non-wing. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be here with you guys. JJ doesn't have to race.
I don't blame you.
That's going to be an advantage of not racing. But I think we're going to go to work. Our store is open, and so
there you go. All right.
We'll try and make some money some way else.
There you go. Chance Olstrom leading the field in this next one, race 102. Kermit Burnham Jr. outside of the front row. John Veland, Will Scribner. Then it's J.R. McCutcheon and Brandon Leland. Wout Hoffmans from the Netherlands inside row 4 is outside John Mergen. Tyler Odell and Brady Amos round out your 10-car field. And we've already heard from Wout earlier in the shootout, doing a nice job in Wing Outlaw. Here we go. Another jumbled start in the Wing A class. And contact and upside down, cartwheeling, collecting another driver. We've got 2 involved.
Jonathan, welcome to the announcer's jinx, my friend. The wings make it easier. They immediately flip.
Yeah, well.
It's okay. First career for you, that's all. So we get an iBox Springs instant replay. And
jump to right rear there.
Yeah, that was the 2L of Brandon Leland.
Brady Amos getting collected in that as well. Another look at it coming at you.
Yeah. 34 of Vreeland just got a little bit sideways on the berm there in front of him, and Leland hopped the right rear, and you could see the damage left front.
Yeah, one time at the Chili Bowl, I think it was 2 years ago, they watered it for the B main Saturday night, and I just got the water was on top of the berm. Of course, I went in and attacked, got on top of the berm, and it was wet, and it just pushed me right off. And I don't know if that's what happened, but you do have to watch that after they do a water.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Brian Ward is stretching his legs after several races.
He might be asleep.
Much going on. He may be asleep, but I'm sure he's awake now. Brian, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I'm down here checking out Leland's car, and it actually looks like the axle might have survived. the steering box is kind of cockeyed on it, and the tie rods are bent, so we got the kachowed left front. But the damage isn't really as bad as it might look.
It looked as he was rolling away there, as like the left rear was a little bit soft too, which again, not the worst part about his damage, but something that ultimately would end his race regardless. And now you see the 16B of Brady Amos looks like he's going to need help from the tow truck as well, Brian.
Yeah, we're going to get him in the side-by-side here, and I'll get a word in with him. Brady, a wild one there. Tell me what you saw coming out of turn number 1.
I just saw him jump the right rear and get upside down, and I had nowhere to go. Just worst luck.
So looking at your car, I don't see anything major from my perspective. What did you see when you climbed out of the race car?
I knew I was leaning on the right side quite a bit. I was going to try to finish it off. I mean, I don't know. Bad luck.
We're going to let Amos go up and go over the race car in the pit area.
Thank you so much, Brian. Quickly upstairs to Earl.
Or not.
We will. Earl had to go take a.
Speaking of not
break.
ready.
Yeah.
He's getting a delivery from the Tops Up Here Bud guy.
Oh, all right. See, they asked and you
he's getting
shall
his food.
receive.
I'm in the wrong. I was in the trailer.
Earl's getting his food. So.
Hey, go ahead.
Hey, Earl, they're ready for you.
Not now. We're about to go green.
Yeah, we're about to go green.
Too late, Earl. Sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck,
Can't catch
pal.
a break with food, heaters, interviews. Unbelievable.
I know. We're working him too hard. God bless you, Earl.
His break is coming. The broadcast is going to take a step up here in about a half an hour.
Yeah.
Earl's off the mic.
Also, some breaking news that we will share here in just a little bit. Coming to green. This time, a little bit better of a start. Nice jump off the initial green from Chance. And Olstrom with the whole shot gets the lead, fighting around the outside. Going to be Kermit Burnham Jr. Oh, man. And just as I said, Chance Olstrom, nice jump.
Man.
He did jump the berm.
He saved a wrecked car, though.
He did.
How about Johnny Vreeland? Everything been happening around him. He's the one who got his right rear jumped. Olstrom nearly lost it in front of him. Vreeland survived it all. And now he's your leader. Will Scribner's up into the runner-up spot. Will Scribner from 4th to 2nd here in the early going. But here comes Wout Hoffmans.
Yeah, Hoffman's is very good, and he running for Johnny Boland. He is absolutely enjoying his time here running in the Tulsa Shootout. He said that yesterday when he won his heat race, and today looking to make some moves here, looking for the spot on Scribner. And he's going to have it at the line by a nose, and looks like he'll be able to clear off at turn 2. He may have a shot here at Vreeland before it's over.
7-2 right now. 7-1, I believe, would be our high point man thus far in Winged A class. He's got 3 laps to do it, less than a second between himself and Vreeland. So Wout Hoffman's on the charge here as they work into turn number 3, and that was helpful. Vreeland kind of slipped up off the bottom. Hoffmans will cut him about 3/10 off the advantage as they work here off at turn number 2.
Vreeland right in the slick, lost another couple tenths here to Hoffmans, and Hoffmans is just seeing the door open, and around he goes. New leader coming to the white, Wout Hoffmans.
He's got a lapper, though, here. He's got to get him out.
He does. You better look out. John Mergen, and caution is out.
That was probably helpful.
Yeah, is he going to keep the lead? Is that leader +1?
According to my race pass, he was scored. So we will see. The K3 of Kermit Burnham, the car around.
Chris,
Easy Earl, are you ready?
He's ready. He had to fix his hair, do everything. All right, Earl, you good?
Yeah, we are good, guys.
Okay.
Got Jack Kassick up here. And nothing but smiles because Jack said this is like the perfect car he has ever drove here at the shootout. Is that because of setup, motor, everything? Tell me about it.
Just the whole package. Car builder, Darren, Reese, the car owner, sets everything up for me. And Adams, great motors and the thing. So can't thank them enough. It's been a great car. Today went 8-2 in Outlaw non-wing, put me good in points, and did what I could do there for 2-1 in that one.
So there's a possibility I might be getting a haircut later this week during a broadcast, and your hair looks kind of long to me. So is there a chance that we'll get haircuts together?
If I can top 10 in an A, you guys can come shave my head afterwards.
Oh, boys, mark that down.
I like this kid.
We'll add that to the list of things that need to happen. Yeah, absolutely. We're back in of the green flag with 2 laps to go. You're looking at Chance Olstrom, who is on the front row and is trying to make something out of nothing. But right now up front, Wout Hoffmans, again from the Netherlands, running for Johnny B. Going to make it through turns 3 and 4 and pick himself up another heat race win. Wout Hoffmans gets it done. Vreeland, Scribner make that Olstrom able to sneak by Scribner for third, Scribner fourth, and Tyler Odell in fifth.
Good rebound there for Olstrom. Started on the pole, fell back, able to get himself back to third.
Hey, by the way, Jonathan pointed this out to me here while we were getting ready to go for that race. Kyle Busch was penalized a couple of heat races ago for advancing before the cone on a restart. It was assessed at the next caution, red flag or end of the race. Obviously, the end of the race came first. That one went green to checkered. So Kyle Busch penalized after finishing, I believe, third in that race?
Yeah.
So interesting. Kyle getting a little taste of what the shootout has to offer, some success and obviously some bad luck. So we'll see what happens later on for him. Race 103 coming out next. Bryson Roush, the California racer, on the pole. Daniel Smith on the outside of the front row. Haley Constance and Robbie Smith, the Florida driver, in row number 2. Brandon Denton, Colton Hardy in row 3. Coda Aller, Luke Drachi out of Cape Town, South Africa, in row 4. And Cody Coughlin with Kyle Hooper rounding out your 10-car field.
Yeah, no favoritism for Kyle Busch.
I was about to say, wasn't going to bring it up, but there was a restart cone that bit you in the past, so...
Yeah, the Okies don't get any love either, so...
Well, one thing that happened too earlier, we saw Kyle Larson get sent to the rear after contact with another driver.
Yep.
So,
as long as it's consistent, that's all anybody here, I think, would ask.
all right, Jonathan Beeson to the rear, no matter what.
Wow.
That's what I heard, right?
Good thing I'm not racing this week.
Green flag is out. And we will go to it. It looks like our outside pole sitter, Daniel Smith, not answering the call. And so Robbie Smith now occupying the outside of the front row. Bryson Roush will lead them here as they complete lap number 1. Smith, though, content to try and keep working it up on the top side as they work here down the back chute.
Robbie Smith committing to the outside lane. Colton Hardy sitting back there in third. Make that fourth. Nope, now he's up to third. Of course, working for the Swindells on the midget. And a 2-time Chili Bowl champ as a crew member on that team. Little shot in the shorts, for Robbie Smith, saying, I'm coming either inside or outside. You just tell me which way you don't want to go.
Bryson Roush trying to make that race car as wide as he possibly can to keep Robbie Smith in the rearview mirror. Remember, Roush started on the pole, and as you've heard everybody say, you got to start on the pole, you got to win it. Roush trying to do so. Robbie Smith, though, putting all kinds of pressure on him with that driven chassis. 3 laps to go this time by. Roush continuing to dig on the bottom side. Robbie Smith continuing to try and find that one perfect run to get up alongside or maybe even try a crossover. They'll come to the twin sticks this time. There it is.
Oh, and he got a little left front there.
Sometimes you got to feed the right rear.
Yeah.
Try to keep him from coming back.
An aggressive move, but not giving up his Roush here on the white flag lap. Can he make the bottom work one more time or hope Robbie has a mistake? So far, Robbie is mistake-free on the outside, and taking the checkered flag is Florida's Robbie Smith. Bryson Roush finishing in second, Hardy third, Constance fourth, and Kyle Hooper in fifth. Drachi, Aller, Denton, Coffrin, and Smith finish out the field.
Jonathan, how hard is it to be out in front and you feel like you're good, but you don't know what's happening behind you?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're good enough with your car, or you know how it's feeling, like you know that it's good, that, I mean, there's a thought in the back of your head that somebody may be there, but as long as you're confident and the car is doing what you're wanting it to do, should be fine.
Blake Anderson's up at the top of the ramp with a K1 Race Gear interview. Blake?
Oh, we're just laughing up here, right? About 7th to 1st, buddy. Walk us through. I mean, I hate to ask the generic question, but walk us through that because you're the only guy to do that so far in the wing class.
Yeah, Johnny just got this car rolling, man. This Hyper Racing, Evo fuel injection, Bowling Speed and Performance, Cactus Raceway cars, on point. It's on the money. I can't thank him enough for letting me drive his car. It's just, I had to go wherever they're not, and I had a good initial start, and then we had to restart. And I just managed to run around the outside of all of them. And then we had that late caution. Got me a little nervous, but I was glad I was able to pull it off and had a good restart too.
How's that high side feeling? It seems like it's starting to come in.
Yeah, definitely. The high side's coming in. Around here, it's always weird when the water trucks come out. You got to follow the truck. But it's this car can really go wherever it wants to go. It can go bottom, middle, top, slide job, whatever. So I got to thank some people. I got to thank Johnny, the whole crew. I also want to thank Adrian Berryhill for making me a better driver this year in the sprint car. He does a lot for me, and it transfers over to the micros for sure.
Hoffman's a guy that we've seen run a 410 sprint car here in America the past couple of seasons. 2 heat race wins for him already in 2 days, guys.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a pretty good Tulsa Shootout for Wout Hoffman's, that's for sure.
Good first 2 days for sure.
And a nice, really good piece to ride too as well. Johnny B does such a nice job, and like Wout said, it was on point, and it looks like it was for sure.
Yeah, he definitely looked like he had fun driving that race car for sure. Race 104 rolling out onto the racetrack now. The 91F Alec Frissell and the 5E of Mickey Bullock make up the front row. Matt Carr in the 93 and the 19 of Justin Robeson make up row number 2. 5th starting spot, the 93A, John Antonino, and alongside him, the 72J is Sam Johnson. 7th starting spot, the 2M Colton McGimsey, and alongside of him, driving the 2E is Eric Bottolo. And the final row inside, the 26T Aiden Turner, and the final starting spot, the 07Z of Zach Gorski. Of course, we highlighted him in the upcoming drivers to watch. See you, Sam. Sam Johnson has been absolutely rolling. Beat Christopher Bell a little bit earlier. He'll roll from 6th in this heat race. But before we go green, Earl's got an interview at the top of the ramp with Robbie Smith.
Robbie Smith from Ocala, Florida, and dude, we were just talking. You're not here to make friends, buddy. You told him he was there by hitting his bumper a couple times, but eventually you had to make the move.
Yes, sir. I understand his point of view. Taking up a little track when you're leading. He was fast on the bottom. I knew I wasn't going to get around him there, so had to get it wound up on the top. Fortunately, an A-class takes a few laps here to get some momentum, so when you get it, you really can't waste it. You know what I mean? You're only here once a year. This place means a lot to me. Obviously, we've had a lot of ups and downs, and just like I said earlier, just really blessed and thankful to be here. Thank you for everybody backing me and believing in me and my sponsors. And Fred Sauls, Fritz Reif, Ryan Greth for tuning on the car. I mean, it's really good right now. Adams, FK, SBS, just Zach Gorski, everybody that helps us out. I mean, we're having a lot of fun right now.
Another driven car is taking a heat race win here, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Earl. Robbie Smith. He talked about the ups and downs. Well, practice day was certainly a down. He was the first car to check for gravity on practice day, but ever since then, he's been rolling pretty good. A couple of heat race wins for him today, and obviously more work to do over the course of the week. But I guess if you're going to have bad luck, John, right, you'd rather have it in practice.
Yeah, you're right.
You have opportunities to get it figured out as we get the cars working through some of the moisture. Let's see, what time is it? 6:41 local time.
Closing in on you getting rid of me.
Oh, I mean, my timer, yeah, I have my countdown clock for you.
The night shift coming in?
Yeah, the night shift, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of swap out such long days. Everybody kind of gets a little bit of time. And there's our guy, Clinton Boyles. Been red hot so far.
Yeah.
And has probably the race of the day so far.
I'm doing my job by reminding him when he needs to get out of the booth and go up to the race, because he's left it on us.
So,
hey, Chris and Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just walked through the pit area real quick. Tyler Courtney coming up in race 115, I believe. They're scrambling. Had to go to a backup car. They fired their stock car. Sounded off. We'll go to a backup car right now.
Great stuff, Blake. Appreciate it. That we'll definitely keep an eye on that for sure.
That's why Blake
He's
gets
got
the
a little
big
bit of
bucks.
time, but the way we're rolling through this, we're going to go pretty quickly. But already underway in this one, heat race 104, Mickey Bullock taking the point away from Alec Frizzle, Matt Carr, Justin Robinson in the top 4. And then you've got this battle way behind. We got someone a little sideways through the middle. Coming through is Zach Gorski. Sam Johnson caught in the middle as well.
Yeah, Sam Johnson not where he wants to be right now as he tries to make his way forward. But there you see the 93. That is Matt Carr working up on the top side. A pair of 93s, I should say. Matt Carr and John Antonino going at it. Now this, the battle for second. Justin Robeson trying to keep Gorski and the 91 of Frissell behind him. Oh!
Boy, 3 wide up and over the berm. Meanwhile, back up front. I mean, there's battles all over this racetrack right now with halfway home. And Sam Johnson's just trying to find a way through.
I think the little mistake there from Frissell allowed there to be, or excuse me, from the 19 car, allowed more battles to go on as Everybody kind of got bottled up behind him, but we work now. 2 laps to go this time by, and it is on here throughout the field. Frissel's still in that runner-up spot. It's Gorski, Carr, and Sam Johnson, your top 5.
Johnson has that car just absolutely just slowed down, slow roll in the bottom, then gassing it off the bottom of the corner, and he's able to close in just a little bit on Matt Carr, but Carr's got that 93 wound back up. He's going to chase after the 07, but out front, untouched, Mickey Bullock, Alec Frizzell, Zach Gorski at the line, Carr, Botello. So Eric Botello took home the 5th spot. Sam Johnson rounds out top 6 in a pretty intense heat race, I would say.
Yeah, the berm over there in 3 and 4 bit a couple of guys in that heat race. Gorski able to hang on to it to hold 3rd. Justin Robeson was not as lucky. He lost several spots, ended up 9th after getting reached out and grabbed by that berm.
Race 105, Avery Morgan out of Kansas on the pole. Florence Droust on the outside out of Minnesota. Ace Moore and Gracie Williams in row 2. Jaden Friesen's won a lot of races this year in the inside of row number 3 to the outside. Braxton Weegar out of Clara, Oklahoma. Peter Smith, Jace Turin in row number 4. Brandon Lewis and Tyler Lupton will round out your 10-car field. See Peter Smith do some wonders with Power Eye and at the shootout. We'll see if he can come from deep.
Yeah, I looked at the lap times that last race out. They watered it, and it slowed up 4/10 just in eight laps.
Yeah. It's been ever changing really all week. I mean, earlier today I had no idea whether the top or the bottom was going to be the preferred groove race to race. I mean, it changed so much. Clinton talked about that here in the booth. It's just been changing, and anybody could make a guess on where you're going to want to be coming each race.
Yeah, I think my kind of philosophy when I was doing is don't really worry about what they're going to do to it, because it's just not going to last. They're trying to keep the dust down, maybe eating a little rubber. So just stick with your game plan. Don't change.
Coming to the green flag here, race 105. We're going to 160 today. As we sit halfway through a winged A-class feature event, just close to halfway. Green flag is in the air. And down to the bottom, Avery Morgan, or Alec Frizzell, I should say. No, Avery Morgan. There we go. Caution flag is out.
I'm guessing a start.
That is
unless there's a piece of debris somewhere.
They got the spotlight on Terry.
Yeah.
See who he's shaking it at.
Usually your indication. Yep.
I think it'd be fun what they do on these situations. They got the big old spotlight on Saturday night that they show on the winner. They just need to zoom that in on Terry so everybody can pay attention to what Terry Maddox is doing.
He may not want anybody to see those facial.
That's true. Yeah. or read his lips of what he's saying.
They're probably not friendly. PG.
Well, so Ace Moore will be the beneficiary.
He's going to like that.
Something about the Moore thing. I don't know. Something good about it. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it.
It's a decent last name. Green flag is back in the air.
Weegar's going all the way around the top.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, Braxton Weegar, how about that? Quickly, right up to the top side, and a lot of the other guys been waiting for momentum. Braxton Weegar was not. Got it rolling right away. 2F of Jaden Friesen surviving off the berm there off of turn number 4. And he'll go at it side by side here for the 4th spot with Peter Smith.
That's good stuff. You got Jaden Friesen, who's stock non-wing and weight class A-class, now 600 national champion. Braxton Weegar's the restricted national champion. So you got some national champs here in this heat race. There's Braxton working the top side of the racetrack. Friesen right behind there, 2 spots.
Yeah, Braxton Weegar has put the whip to it. Ace Moore trying to slide up in front of him. Weegar beats him to the spot, and Braxton Weegar now officially will grab the lead. Moore will follow him to the top, but he bobbles, and here comes Avery Morgan up the inside. Ace Moore all of a sudden led the first handful of laps. Now he's under fire. Here comes Jaden Friesen.
Yeah, Friesen thought about the slider to go through the middle. Wasn't going to work. Gets back out of it, back to the top, but that's going to open up for attack as here comes the 11P of Peter Smith. And Smith is going to slide Jaden Friesen for that position across the nose, but crossover and contact, a little side slap between those two. And it's getting hot and heavy here with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, this is slide or die for 4th and 5th, and it's the best friend of Ace Moore, as neither one of them going after him. Friesen's got it that time. Meanwhile, Avery Morgan is working the bottom side of the inside of Weegar, side by side, 5/1000ths of a second. Avery Morgan had the lead at the line that time.
Morgan trying to hold tough contact on the left rear tire, and around halfway goes Morgan. What a save, but Braxton Weegar hangs on. Meanwhile, we got one blowing up on the front straightaway.
Oh, no. My cousin from a different family.
Ace Moore is the one that blew up. What a save, though.
That was.
Yeah,
but
I thought he was going around.
Yeah, Avery Morgan able to hold on to second. Braxton Weegar ends up winning the race. Friesen finishes fourth. Moore still crossed the line third after blowing up.
Yeah. Hopefully they got more in the stable. Speaking of more in the stable, Blake.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was referring to, but you can take an interview.
I was going to kind of wait to see where you're sending that. We'll keep an eye behind us. But Mickey Bullock didn't race much this year. You're just a driver coach. R&D in a car, you pick up a heat race win. How about that?
Yeah, it's pretty good. The car was really good. We've been working hard on it. It's Eli Holden's car for next year, but he's not old enough to run it yet this year. So we're kind of shaking it down. Hope to get a little faster for him.
Find anything in it you want to change for next year yet?
No, it's pretty good. I got to thank Zach Hubbard and Eli Holden and the whole Holden family. I want to thank Tim Engler, Engler Machine and Tool, for getting us tuned up to rip air on the starts. Just my wife and my daughter are here and just having a good time.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Mickey Bullock, a heat race winner, only raced a handful of times this year, guys. Driver coaching and finds a win.
I always love the stories of the part-timers or the one-offers that just show up and do something pretty spectacular. Good job, Blake.
We'll monitor the situation back here as well.
Yes, please do, because that was some intense stuff. All right, here we go. Race 106. Hank Soares on the pole. Brant Woods to his outside. Chris Counter, Cole McQuiston, Ray Brewer. Clinton Boyles is in this one outside of row number 3. And the rest of the field is work green. Keep an eye on the Indy Race Parts 71. Already jumped to the top side of this racetrack. And a battle for second ensuing here on the opening lap. Maybe battle for the lead is on the bottom. How about the 13 making some moves?
Yellow.
But that's not going to be for long. Chris Counter was the one I was talking about, but we got a yellow flag.
I don't know that we're going to get that lap. Clinton launched out of a cannon off of 4 and quickly grabbed a row. And displeasure with somebody.
Yeah.
So we get an Ibrox Springs instant replay here. Oh, they're 4 wide. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't a lot of room to spare there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when he gets a chance to look back at that, he'll see that that was just kind of a racing deal. There's only so much room at this place, and it's not that much.
Yeah.
4 wide's tough.
So we'll get a full
There's only
restart.
a couple lanes that have grip.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't believe they're going to score that lap.
So we mentioned the first 3 rows. Maverick Page, Brody Waite, Chase McDougall, and Chase Rogers. It's not been a particularly great shootout so far for the McDougalls. I know Jason withdrew earlier today, his Outlaw non-wing car. Chase has been on track a couple of times. Now he's going to have to do some work back there in the Factor 173. We'll try it again.
No laps on the scoreboard over there, so we're going to go for the full 8. Try it again.
And how about your pole sitter, Soares? Soared to the top side of the racetrack from the point. And it's going to leave the door open on the bottom for Counter. Counter up off the berm. Look at him go for second.
He's got him. I'm sorry,
he's
Chris.
got it.
His front wing's a little sideways there as they work. Nearly 3 wide for the lead, and we got another one. Chase Rogers sideways over there in turn number 1. That was a little shout out to Dustin and Ben. That was a little PSG moment, and James Essex, of course.
Yes.
That was hoping that one was going to stay green, but we'll see. Earl has Braxton Weegar up at the top of the ramp.
Yeah, second time I was able to talk to Beetlejuice here. And, dude, walk me through the final 2 turns there, because you never say never, and you're able to get the win. Did you get worried at all going into turn 3?
Yeah, man, on the start, we had a little bit of problems, and it kind of went into my favor, and I kept getting moved up. Ended up starting the race 4th instead of 6th, and from there, I just ran my race, and I knew on the first start not much people went to the top, so that's where I put it, and ran my race, and I knew I had a couple people on the inside, just slowly worked the laps, and got to the lead, and about 2 laps ago, I seen Avery was down on the bottom. I knew I had to close the door on the final lap, so that's what I did, and we got into each other a little bit, and they're a little bit angry at me, but it's the shootout. I don't really care. Hate to break it to you.
You heard him, guys. Like I said, emotions are starting to run high up here at the top of the scales.
That's the mindset you have to have, and Clinton Boyles just just about had a pucker factor times 10, got up on the bike, but was able to make position number 3 over Brant Woods. Meanwhile, we mentioned Chase McDougal on the bottom. The youngster trying to make it happen. He gets it just by a little bit from Brody Wake. That's a couple good racers right there. Brant Woods just ahead, so that's 4th, 5th, and 6th on your screen. Back up toward the front. Boyles isn't done. Chris Counter, he puts him a position back, so move up Clinton Boyles to P2.
Clinton's looking to be the first one to go 3 for 3, and he is on the hammer. Hank Soares rolling the bottom side, but he's going to have to be perfect because Clinton Boyles has that 71 wound up. He will work to the outside. Boyles will get there into turn number 3. Soares will slide up in front of him. Boyles with the crossover, and Clinton Boyles takes the lead away. This one, another one from the 6th spot.
What a job for Boyles to also stay composed, taking the line away from Hank Soares, and now Boyles is going to pull away in the Indy Race Park 71. Boy, what a shootout for the part-time micro racer. Hadn't been in one here in this building in some 10 years. And here he is, checkered flag. Clinton Boyles 3 for 3 at the Tulsa Shootout in his heat races.
Car looked good.
Say, what do you think over there? Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be having a lot of fun.
It makes your job a lot easier when cars drive like that, I bet.
Yeah, the 10J, they've got the deal figured out with the wings on.
What a job for Clinton Boyles, and that's going to be a huge points getter as well, starting in that 6th position. We've got a 7-1. We've got a couple 6-1s. That includes Clinton Boyles.
Heat race 107 will roll out onto the racetrack now. Joshua Boysonow in the 77 car, alongside him Graham Huffman in the 5Z car. Blake Parmley in the 6B, Ty Fulgham in the 73F. Cousin Cameron Key, we're going to have to stand up. The 21J, he'll go for 5th. Rodney Westhafer, happy birthday, Rodney. He'll go from the 6th spot in the 44K. Zach McNally in the 2Z, Russ Dysinger, the 39. Anthony Rhea, the 71A, and Chase Highland, the 5X. Make up your 10-car field here in race 107. To our feet we rise, and to the green they come. Winged A class, race 107 will come to green, and off at turn number 2, it will be Boysonow quickly racing out to the lead. Keep an eye back here on Ty Fulgham, trying to make some ground up on the top side. They'll go side by side for the runner-up spot in the 1 and 2.
Cameron Key being nice and patient on the bottom, kind of taking what's given to him, and now he's going to try to maybe drive through the middle, get up to the top, and follow Blake Parmley up there. In the TKH Motorsports 21, he's going to make some horsepower up top, and he's going to follow the 73 of Ty Fulgham back up there as well. But again, the bottom's still pretty good at this point in the heat races.
Yeah, and remember, Cameron Key was actually the beneficiary of Ryan Timms being DQ'd after being light at the scales earlier today. Now Key will slide, job for the 4th spot. He's got it, but Chase Highland creeping up the inside. Key will shut the door on him, so Key's got the 4th spot. Highland right there now up to 5th. And Blake Parmley, the one losing a couple of spots, he's back to 6th.
And trouble on the top of the cushion there for Ty Fulgham. Will lose a couple of spots. At least he lost one for the time being, but boy, he gathered it back in. But now a slider from Cameron Key for 3rd. He gets it done. Fulgham can't get the crossover move. Back to the bottom they go in turns 1 and 2. And now short slider for Cameron Key. Tries to protect, he does. Can he reel in your top 2 of Graham Huffman and Joshua Boysonow?
Surprised here, Graham Huffman has been on the back bumper of Jonathan Boysonow for the lead, but has not moved up to try and take the spot. Instead, he'll follow him. Key trying to pound the top, checkered flag this time. It's going to be Boysonow, Huffman, Key, Russ Dysinger, and Chase Highland. The top 5 there in race 107. Jonathan Boysonow gets the win, or excuse me, Joshua Boysonow from the pole starting position does what he needed to do. Graham Huffman gets 2nd. Cameron Key, nice little 5th to 3rd. Russ Dysinger gets the 4th spot from 8th. A good run for Dysinger, and Chase Highland rounds out the top 5. Highland 10th to 5th. So a couple of guys there shaking and moving their way forward.